Why did the housing market crash in 2008?
Credit problem. We talked about that already?
Kind of.
Why did it crash? Okay, so the simplest answer, go watch The Big Short.
It is a good movie, you guys.
Go watch The Big Short. Probably everywhere is showing it for free now. Just watch it. It'll just explain
Netflix.
it. Okay, two things. Okay, there was an oversupply of housing. Okay,
So we did not have a shortage at this time.
well, I wouldn't say we did not have a shortage at the time per se. There's, like it's probably, in different pockets of the country there could be shortages, right? But here was the problem though, right? They were allowing people to buy homes with almost no money down, right? So everyone was buying homes. Now, if you watch like in that movie, the way they wrote it was really good. The guy went to a strip club and the stripper was buying 4 homes. Why? Because you could buy homes with 1% down and everyone was flipping their homes. So there was an oversupply and it was too easy for anybody and everybody to buy the home.
There was also balloon payments, interest only.
That's not exact.
Like
So
people didn't
the
have
ease
skin in the
of-
game.
Well, here's the other problem there. The credit environment then was ridiculously loose, right? You could go buy 4 homes right now. I know people who are doing that. I know people who are buying like 5, 6 homes in Vegas, putting 1% down on each, not wanting to live in it, not wanting to rent it, right? They were buying it now and in expectation of flipping it.
Right.
Flipping
Which
it.
I do want to say one thing.
That's what you call
You
that.
can get low down payments on houses now, but you're not going to be able to get 4 or 5 houses
Listen,
like you did before.
I was a banker then, I'm a banker now. The credit, first of all, you have negative amortizing loans,
Exactly.
right? So neg-am loans are no longer allowed.
What's a neg-am
A
loan?
neg-am loan, that means you pay less than the minimum payment of the loan for a certain period of time. And that shortfall in your payment gets added to the balance of the loan. What does that deteriorate? The value, the loan to value ratio. That means you become over leveraged. And if you go into a deal at 3% down and you get a neg-am loan in a very short period of time, your home is worth less than your total loan.
Right.
So what happens when you're a borrower? When your home is worth less than a total loan and you can't seem to flip it, what do? You walk away,
Yeah.
right?
Also-
So there was a bubble.
You told me something about neg-am loans and then having a balloon payment at the end, and people just expected to be able to refi the loan, and then they don't qualify for the refi.
The thing that caused the problem is no one wanted to refi those things. Most people were trying to flip it.
And if they
when
can't
the
sell
market,
it,
when the market turned, they just walked away from everything.
Right.
Like you watch it in The Big Short, like when they drove out there, and they went to Florida, and they drove to these neighborhoods, these new developments, and you could see every single home was for sale and no one was buying. Right? Squatters were going in. Renters were worried that their landlords weren't paying the mortgages and they get evicted because it was just too loose, the lending. It was a credit problem. It made it too easy for anybody and everybody to buy. And you had all these no-doc loans, these liar's loans, right?
straw buyers.
Well, it's just like, okay, what's your income? This much. Okay, you're approved. You look at all those mortgage guys in that movie. I knew people in LA that were like that. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
I walked into a warehouse right after the crash, went to a Porsche dealer and walked into a warehouse and they're like, oh, look, this is what happens after the mortgage crash. An entire warehouse of Porsches that were returned, that were repossessed or returned in leases that they couldn't afford. Because it was just, good old Greenspan said, irrational exuberance. You created this bubble and it popped. And the problem why it crashed the economy was, this wasn't your question, but the whole of Wall Street were purchasing those bonds, pensions and all that. So you crashed the banks because the banks were investing in it.
Right.
Just watch The Big Short. It's a great explanation of what happened.
I just wanted to elaborate on 2008 because a lot of people were still saying, it's going to crash. The prices are getting too high.
We don't have a credit problem right now. Housing price. Today it's a supply problem.
Not enough. Before 2000, there were too many houses for sale.
No, it was just too many and too many. No,
And bad loans.
There was too many houses. The builders kept building because they were able to sell it easily. It was a credit problem that created that. It was so easy to buy a house. You could buy a house on a 3-page form back then, as long as your credit was okay. Right? You don't have that problem right now. Now it's a true supply problem. Prices are high because there's more people that need shelter than is enough shelter, right? It's a typical supply and demand problem, right? Supply and demand problem, right? Supply is way low, and it drives the prices up. That's it.
Yep. All right.